This is a demonstration of the installation of the Lockpick. We're in a 2013 Dodge Ram. This is the smaller version of the screen. They have a much larger one, an 8-inch screen. They also have a smaller version like this. Notice it has the compass button. Make sure when you're doing your installation that you have the full color version like this one is. To begin with, lift the little panel on the top. Underneath here it's going to reveal 2 Torx head screws. We're going to remove those. Those are the only 2 screws holding this bezel in, so what you're going to do now is just grab the edges of it all the way around. It ends right here. Just pull these corners out, and that's going to reveal the screws that are around the radio. I didn't use any tools for this. I just grabbed the edges of it and pulled it free all the way around, and the whole assembly will then lean forward like this. Okay, here I've removed all 4 of the screws on the outside edge. Now the radio itself can just be pulled. It'll come free. On the back side, we've got a large connector we're going to release and plug in the Lockpick harness. Okay, to release the connector, you're just going to squeeze on this end here. Get a little click, and then it just unplugs itself. Included in your Lockpick harness are matching factory connectors. What we'll do is just take the factory one, plug it into ours. To insert them, make sure you have the locking bar up first, and then it'll push together. Push the locking bar down, it locks them together. I think so. And now we're inserting the other end of the Lockpick T-harness directly into the radio. Again, just lift the tab first, push them together, and then push the tab down to lock it in. It's just a very simple T-harness. That's all it takes to connect. There's no power connections that are necessary or grounds. This does all the wiring for you. Next, you're going to plug in the Lockpick module itself. Just a simple connector plugs it in. There's 2 different versions of the Lockpicks for this car. There's the large full function version, this as I'm showing here. This has 4 camera inputs. It has AV inputs. It has full iPod connection. Everything's all incorporated into one single module. We also have another module for these, and this is a more basic one. This is just for adding cameras. It'll add a rear camera. You can select it using the steering wheel. Simple plug-in. It'll add that function to this radio. Okay, we're continuing on with the installation. What we've done here is we've plugged in the iPod connector. This allows us to connect directly to any of the 30-pin Apple devices, iPods, iPads, any of those. There's also another connection here that we plugged in. This is for plugging into headrest outputs. So if you have headrests you're going to install into the car, you can use these. It will output the picture and sound from our Lockpick to the headsets. There's also a set of just conventional audio-video inputs on the box. This is if you have a different device, maybe a different Apple product or a different type of device that you want to bring the audio and video in and show it through the front screen and through the sound system. That'll all plug in right here. And then of course we have the other connections for left, right, front, rear cameras, and also for a second rear camera. If you're going to plug in a trailer to the back of your truck and you want to have a separate camera that shows in the back end of the trailer, this will let you do that. So you put the car in reverse, it can be set to show a different camera. There's also a remote pickup for this. So this unit is fully remote controlled. Gives you easy access to all the functions of it. Just simply push the button on the remote, bring it right up. There's another feature to the Lockpick harnesses here that I plugged in to demonstrate. This comes with your kit. These are going to be outputs from the module that you can plug into other devices, to cameras, to radar detectors, to other functions that need power. So there'll be a constant 12-volt output that it'll give you. It'll also give you ground. It'll give you switched outputs so that you can have devices that turn on and off when the car is turned off. And there'll also be connections there to plug in your camera power to. So if you're adding cameras, left, right, front, rear cameras, they'll all plug right into this harness right here, and makes it very simple to do your installation. Okay, we've got the module installed. I left the bezel off here just for demonstration. I'm also using an iPad down here that we're going to be using for our video and audio source at the moment. It's plugged in directly to the cable that comes with it. I'll push the button on the remote control just to bring up the menus. And you get the full function menu built in. You can select different functions for music, apps, aux AV. You can also select different functions for how you want the cameras to automatically turn on or off. All that's built into it. I'm just going to go ahead and select iPod apps. In this case here I have a movie playing. This is Wall-E. It's playing from my iPad. This will play through the screen. And of course you have sound. can switch over to use the iPod interface that's built in. This gives you a full function with graphics, search album, artists, songs, all built in. You'll get album art as well. It's all built in. Of course, it also has the other features that are built into it for the backup camera, for front cameras that'll automatically turn on whenever the vehicle is slowing down. You have side cameras that'll activate automatically with left and right turn signals. All that ready to go. There's also a separate AV input to plug in any other device you might want to, and headrest outputs that are built into it. Very simple to operate. This is for the small screen. Again, we do have other versions for basically the same version, but it'll do the same thing on the larger screen. But even if you have the smaller screen radio, you can still get all these functions built in. And there is, again, like I said, a smaller version that'll just automatically add you a backup camera and give the ability to plug in a backup camera to see it right on this front screen. Very simple operation, same installation that we just viewed.